England 5, San Marino 0. Congratulations, England. They now qualify. Stop that. We're not talking about internationals. Welcome to Khanage. Let's go. Good evening, LFC Daytrippers community. Welcome to another episode of Khanage. International Week. What a week, eh? What a week. So exciting. So we thought, what shall we do? Shall we talk about the International Week? Shall we talk about the fixtures over the International Weekend and how San Marino put up a good show and now England are qualified and Scotland in an amazing 2-2 game with us? Nah. We thought scrap all that. We don't want to know about all that. We thought we'd do something different and have a question and answer session with the viewers, with the listeners, with the subscribers. And I thought I'd get a couple of lads in to help me with that. The two of the biggest mouths I know apart from me. They're in the building tonight. Avi and Gav, talk to me, lads. How are we feeling?
You have a fucking cheek calling me a mouth. I have to be honest. Not a good start. Me. Kieran B says I look different. Yeah, I've just had a shave, mate. It was starting to get ridiculous. So he asked did I use Manscaped. Yes, I did.
Who should use Manscaped? Come on.
Yes, I did. But now I'm in good form. I'm in very, very good form.
Good stuff. And how's the little pocket dynamo from California?
Yeah, good. Gav shaved off his beard. I'm trying to grow what I've got. So yeah,
I'll have a beard in a week.
Oh, it'll take me a lifetime to grow a little bit of a beard.
Gav's trying to look younger and Avi's trying to look older.
I'm not. I'm trying to look more awake because my eyes aren't doing it for me. So I just figured if I took all the hair out my face, it makes me look.
Gav, do you know what it is?
Jamie says I'm back on the cans and his beard falls off. That was a one night only. The cans are all gone. I made sure to drink them all last night.
You can bring the comment up on screen, so everyone can take the piss out of you.
Okay, yeah. Well, there it is up on the screen.
But Gav, with this sleep and looking woke, the simple solution is you got to stop playing Warzone up to 4 a.m. in the morning.
No, I'm not up to 4 a.m.
No, Gav, come on. I know you are, Gav. I check up on you, pal.
All the lads are ignoring me. I keep asking to play and they keep going, can't, mate. Can't.
Can you tell everyone? Can you tell everyone why they're ignoring you?
They're not. When I come on, they're like, oh no, sorry, I can't, but busy. And then I go on, I can see them all online. Like I can actually see them online playing the fucking game. The reason why they don't play me is because I'm awful at it, but I really enjoy it. It's so frustrating, but it's so addictive at the same time. So yeah, no, I'm not up till 4 a.m. I usually go to bed about 1:30, but I'm back up at about 7. And honestly, that laptop, I'm looking at it all day since.
It needs a rest. It needs a rest as well. Not only do you need a rest, always remember machinery needs a rest as well. The actual machinery, it needs a rest. So look, have a rest for a break or two. You're not into all that stuff, are you, Avi? Busy man like you. Are you into all that Warzone and everything?
Yeah, I've been a COD fan for many years, but
you as well.
Yeah. Got to set up my ID, but yeah, you can catch Gav on Discord on his. I think that's where you've given your gamer ID, haven't you, Gav? On the LFC
it's on there. Yeah, no, it's on Xbox. It's Gav Doyle 8 or Gav Doyle 82 maybe. Don't come on and play Warzone with me because you just get so frustrated at me being terrible. But no, it's just something to relax after.
It's addictive. No, look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love watching you. No. Let me explain, Gav. I love it.
You love it. Tell people how long you've played this game for in total.
About 6 minutes, but that's not the point. The point is I don't know how to play, and I get very frustrated, and I walk off because I get killed as soon as I step onto the whatever you call it,
the map.
Right? The map, I get killed, and that's not me. I'm not a loser, so I just walk off and I can't take it. I don't know how to play, but I watch you guys and the clips that you guys send me. It's amazing. It's so addictive. I'm actually jealous. I wish I could play it. Not as well as you because you're known to shoot skies. Tell everyone what's your nickname.
My nickname on it was Gav, but we've changed it to, instead of Luke Skywalker, it's Luke Sky Shooter because I just shoot at the sky. So Courtney nearly says she's terrible at Warzone 2. We can create a clan. Courtney,
I want to be in that
people,
clan.
I reckon people would pay money to watch me and you playing Warzone and how bad it actually was, because I'm awful at it. It's not even I'm awful. I get frustrated because I played there a few minutes ago with Col before I come on. And I'm laying into this fella with a gun, and he just takes out a gun and goes bang bang, good luck. One fella genuinely done a Tino, a spree, a flip, right beside me, and then just fucking ripped me throat out with a knife. It was scandalous stuff.
Sometimes you think it's not fair, does it? But listen, before we crack on and tell everyone what the show is going to be about tonight, need to shout out our sponsors, our amazing sponsors for this show. As you guys probably know, it's yourfutcard.com. Get over on their website, all the social media platforms, place your orders for these magnificent cards. Keith got one made for his child, for his kid. It's absolutely brilliant. Over the moon. Did you see the tweet today? Did you see the look on his face? Brilliant stuff. It's fantastic stuff. You type in LFCDT and you get 20% off. So you can't go wrong. They really are. I've got my son one as well, and he's absolutely chuffed. I don't really agree with the numbers on that he's got on his card, but hey, it is what it is, But yeah, so you need to get over there, bit of fun, bit of crack, get your own versions made, get ones for your siblings, for your children, for yourself. They're really fantastic. www.yourfutcard.com.
It's www.yourfutcard.com. Why do you say www and then just forget the last W? I mean, because this for weeks.
Because look, I don't really count, right? It's something I've been saying forever and ever since WW was created, right? So people know. So people know, right? The majority of the world knows it's www, right? Mm-hmm. But I've grown up saying www. It's shorter. It's like abbreviated version, but everyone knows.
You've been growing up saying WWF, and you got mixed up. That's what happens because you're a wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, that's a very good excuse and reason as well. But that's not the reason. Anyway, both of you need to relax yourselves because this is my show.
Yeah,
it's all right. So yeah, today we thought, we can't. What shall we talk about? There's so much. There's nothing going on at the moment, and the International Week has just bored everyone to death. So on the other shows we've done, as people know, as viewers and listeners know, we've been doing some drafts and quizzes. Today we thought we put it into the hands of the chat, the Discord group, the subscribers, and see where we go from there, and work our way towards where anyone wants to answer, have a chat with us, have a chat with. Why anyone want to chat with me is crazy. More to do with chat to Gav and Avi, and we thought we'd bring some people on who might be interested. And I believe we've got someone ready and waiting in the background already. Let's bring the young man on.
So how this is going to work is these people are in the background. We're going to bring them in. They're going to ask the question, have a little chat.
You'll find out. You're going to be put on the spot. They're going to ask you questions, and you can't duck and dive like you do on the other shows. You've got to answer.
Me duck and dive? I swear to God. Pot and kettle.
Before we get into the first question and viewer, Darwin Jones sends us a super chat. You're a top man for that. My question answer to you all three: should we get Andre Silva from Frankfurt? He has scored the same number of league goals, 21, as Haaland this season. Thanks, Darwin. We will discuss that as soon as we've chatted to.
Never heard.
No. I was going to say Avi will take that.
Yeah.
And but let's welcome our young man, our young friend, to Mr. Tabiko. How are you, my friend? Can you hear us?
Good, thanks. How you guys doing? Yes, I can hear you guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on. It takes a lot of courage to come and talk to Gavin, because Gavin can be a very strict. He intimidates a lot of people. But thank you for coming on, man. It's an absolute pleasure having you on. Where are you viewing and calling in from, Tabiko? Let everyone know.
Joburg, isn't it?
I've asked him. Sorry, where are you calling from?
South Africa.
Amazing. Worldwide trippers. This is what we like to see. We're worldwide, people. Brilliant stuff. Tabiko, talk to us. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to ask about? Ask away, man. The platform is yours, brother.
Please don't mention. Just
Okay,
a quick one. Just please don't mention Bitcoin, Tobiko.
Come on. Okay, I have questions for the three of you. I'll just start with Avi. What are your comments on the club's development in terms of youth players? Over the past year, we've had players like
Oh, he's frozen.
I think he was talking about the.
Did you get his question?
Yeah, I think it was about development of the football club and how we're bringing the youngsters in. I think he
Ben
mentioned
Wood.
Curtis Jones.
Okay, is
His
he
line's
back
really
there?
bad.
Okay, go for it while we try.
I'll carry on.
getting
Yeah. So yeah, we've seen the development of Curtis Jones now more and more into the first team, and I think we've got some on the sort of fringes. Leighton Clarkson, who I rate quite highly, he's played against Midtjylland in the Champions League this season. He's coming through, and then obviously we've got a few youngsters sort of knocking on the door. In the under 18s. Obviously Musialowski, who Grizz, I know you're a big fan of. We've got the kid that we nicked from City, James Balagizi, and Leighton Stewart, who unfortunately is just who's just done his ACL. There's a lot of talk of him being a natural goal scorer, and people say he reminds him of Fernando Torres. So yeah, I think it's good. And then Kieran Thorne just said as well. I know Kieran Thorne knows this guy quite well, the little kid as well, Kai Gordon, who's come from Derby. Mm-hmm. So he's another one who's who's supposed to be meant to be a really good talent. So I think we're doing well. We're bringing Curtis Jones in. Let's see next season. Nico Williams is on the fringes. Being an understudy to Trent, but it's just one of those, isn't it? We ideally would love to. Go on.
Where does Cade Gordon? What position does Cade Gordon play in?
He's sort of like a central midfielder, but he can play off the wings as well. Kieran Thorne probably tell us where he plays, but he is meant to be like a midfielder, like even a deep lying midfielder from the games I've seen him. But Kieran Thorne can probably comment, because I don't know how he knows him, but he knows him quite well. Left side of the front three. There you go. Left side of the front three. Attacking midfielder. There you go. Yeah.
Our friend's back. I hope you're satisfied with that answer to the question. Did you have anything else to ask, brother?
Yes. I have a question for Kev. Sorry about the connection there.
No problem, man.
I'm really focused on young players, and for Kev, I just want to ask, what do you think is the next step for Harvey Elliott?
Great.
Do you bring him back, play him in, loan him out for Premier League experience? What do you think is the next step for him?
Great question. And Kieran B asks as well, will Harvey Elliott make it at Liverpool? Grizz doesn't think he will, just off the bat.
But he didn't ask me. He asked you.
No, but I'm just letting you know what Grizz thinks. With regards to Harvey Elliott, brilliant move from Championship, decent side in Blackburn, goals, assists, and listen, the Championship is fast, it's aggressive, it's physical, and that's what he needs, because when you look at Harvey Elliott, you think he's slight, but he's only 17 years of age. He still has growing to do. For me, I'd have him in our squad next season. I genuinely would. I think you could end up going down the route of Harry Wilson if you keep loaning him. I think you need to make a decision on him. I know he's really, really young, but I think he's such a talent that for me, I would have him around their squad next season without a shadow of a doubt. I think they're going to have Nico Williams. Curtis Jones is a different issue. I think Curtis Jones has just stepped up a couple of levels, but we've seen so many players go out on loan, and it doesn't happen. Marco Grujic, you know what I mean? Look at him. He was a couple of million quid, and he's not getting anywhere near Liverpool. It's worrying at times when you see players go out on loan and they continue to do so. I wouldn't. With Harvey Elliott, I think he's such a big talent, and left-footed and so graceful on the ball, and he has everything about him. I think I'm saying Grizz doesn't think he make it Liverpool. I think Grizz's worry is probably around his pace, but I think as a player like that, I think he could really add something to Liverpool's squad, and I think this experience this season will be huge for him.
Avs, you want to say anything? Touch on Harvey Elliott very quickly.
I think he's a good player. I think it's going to be, where will he settle in? I don't think he'll be a front three player like on the other side. I think he'll be in a midfield three. Reminds me of a young Jack Wilshere when he was first coming through. I think he's an exceptional talent. I don't think he needs a lot of pace for the way he plays. He can see it. He can see a through ball. He's got a great vision. But I do see him definitely in and around the squad. I think one more loan for him next season, and then we'll see him really push through.
Okay, Tabiko, that's your questions. Did you have any more? We'll mail
just for you, Grizz. Yeah, one last more for you.
Go on,
and
man.
you have to answer this. You have to answer this with yes or no. I'll just give you one name.
They're the ones I like. Go on.
This is great. What's the name?
You got to say that again, Tabiko. We couldn't hear you.
Did he say
Luis Suarez?
Oh, for the summer, Grizz?
Luis Suarez. If your question, I don't know if I got all of it, but I'm assuming it's are we interested or would I take him? Would I take him? Oh, would I take him? Even if he gave us another season or two of that magic. Can you imagine having Luis Suarez?
He's way past that, Grizz. He's way past that.
He asked me. He asked me.
He's past it, mate.
He asked me.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Right, thank you. I didn't interrupt your answers. So he asked me, and I said I would take him. Now, whether we're interested or whether we were likely to bring him back, absolute no chance, zero chance. I know Stephen Dunn's saying yes or no answer, Grizz, but listen, you shut up as well. It's my show as well. Everyone can shut up when it's my show. So yeah, Tabiko, I'd take him personally all day long. I don't think Liverpool are remotely interested in him. Hope that answers your question. Tabiko, it was great having you on, pal. Look after yourself, and thank you so much for coming on, man. Take care.
Okay, thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thank you.
Have a good one, mate.
Yeah, so some hard questions there. I know I was asked a yes or no answer, but you know, you have to give questions.
Yes, I know. 100-page essay.
Everything.
I love this.
Everything in life needs context. You can't just give yes no answers and you know.
Well, he asked you yes or no. He didn't ask for context, did he? He just said yes or no. Would you take?
Yeah, but I didn't hear him, so I wanted to make sure I've covered all his angles.
All right, but you definitely heard the yes or no bit, and you definitely heard the yes or no.
All right, but come on, you got to make something out of something. I didn't know what you said, so I had to cover all angles. Gav, moving on. Yeah. Swiftly moving on. Yeah. I believe you got a couple of questions from the Discord channel. So talk to us about that.
Brilliant, by the way. We've relaunched that.
It's popping off.
In the description of this video is the link to the Discord group and links to everything else, the new website and everything. But the Discord group is fucking unbelievable. The amount I've had to knock off me email notifications on it because they just keep lashing into my phone. But yeah, there's on the Discord there's loads of different topics. But of course we threw up Khanage, and I did get some questions. And the first one comes from Cyber Sims, and he asks, he's just asking about the transfer business for the summer, and a couple of people have kind of asked about it, there's a couple of people have similar stuff kind of putting it into what way do we see the transfer going. There was another fella called, I think his name was Pasty Man, he was asking about the spend in the summer as well. Cyber Sims was asking about the transfer business you think we'll do, but Pasty Man added to that with what's changed since January that makes us think that something big will happen in the summer. So yeah, that's probably the question from the lads. Transfer business in the summer. What do you think we will do, and what's changed since January for you?
Go on, Mr. Avi. You can start off with that nice and easy one. I know there's about 2-3 questions in one, but just give an overall.
Well, it's not really. It's what do you think we'll do in the transfer window in the summer?
Well, there's your question.
The second part of it is, and what for you would make you think that's from January to summer, what's changed? Because we've done nothing in January.
So shall I just go all in, shall I?
You can do what you like, but
I won't hold back then. I think we're going big in the summer. I think we will get a signing in first week of June, confirmed. And I think what's changed is the form of this season. The squad depth has changed. The players that have come in to replace the players that have been injured are deemed not good enough. We know they're not good enough. And I think come June, summer, I think we will spend before we get rid of any of the deadwood. And it's going to be a different change of policy with FSG and Klopp and Edwards and all the recruitment team this summer.
Okay.
And you can hold me to this as well.
The phrase we use, you can log that.
I
We're
think a
logging
centre
that.
back, definitely a centre back. I think a centre back on top of. I do feel that we will go through with Kabak, a midfielder and a forward. I think four to five players definitely, and maybe a freebie as a keeper.
Okay. Gav, you can answer the question yourself as well as part of the panel.
What's changed since January? They were too clever. They were trying to be too clever in January. You know, the big one for me in January is collect a car that they looked to do a deal on the 31st of January for, and they would have got him. Only for apparently Marseille said no. Look, we can't get a replacement in and pull the plug. Coletta Car was on a runway somewhere waiting to get on a plane to head to Liverpool. They tried to be too clever and it didn't work. So it might not have been down to money in January. My biggest thing in January was, why aren't you doing it in the first week? We all know this. Don't tell me that you're waiting to see how Matip sorts itself out, because you know how Matip sorts itself out. With regards to the summer, I think Avi's mad if he thinks 4 or 5 are coming in. I really do. I think if there may be a signing like Avi says early in June or whatever it might be, but that may be something that's just in the pipeline and is ready to go, and you know it's happening regardless, because you know yourself, you have to get rid of players before you buy players, and that's not just because FSG are like that. That makes perfect business sense. You don't buy all these players and then look to sell, because when you look to sell, they go, well, we can give them fuck all because they're desperate. You know what I mean? So it's a very kind of tactical thing in the summer. I think you'll see a centre back. I'd like to see a big name centre back, because in my head now I think it's Van Dijk plus this centre back or Gomez, and then Gomez or somebody else, you know, as a fourth choice. So I'd like to see them go big on a centre back, and you'd be left with Van Dijk, Gomez, this centre back, and then choose, you know, pick whatever you want. Take Kabak. You don't take him. Take Phillips as your fourth choice. I don't mind. The Matip one, I think the decision they make on Matip is huge on centre half. I keep saying it. Midfield wise, it looks like Wijnaldum will leave. I'm not mad happy about that, because I think if Wijnaldum leaves, you need to, because I think Ox will go. So, and if Ox doesn't go, I think it's a bad window. Simple as that. Don't care what else you do, because you're, again,
okay.
Well, you're going to be left then with Wijnaldum gone. Ox, you bring someone in, you're left with Ox, and he's been fit for ages and he's not playing. You know, Keita still has to show that he's reliable. Milner's another year older. You know, you have the rest of the lads there. You hope Curtis Jones comes on, but I think you need another one. I'd love to see our come in. And up front, the front three as they are, Jota and one more, and you move Origi. I think if you went into the season with the 3 lads up front, Jota and another top quality forward, I'm quite good with that. So 3 would be fine.
You've named about 4 there, Gav.
No, I didn't. 3 would be fine. A centre back, a centre midfielder for Ox, and a forward, possibly 4 if Wijnaldum goes. But I don't think 5, 6. If it gets to 5 or 6, it's fringe players. It's not 5 or 6 players that you're looking to absolutely push the first 11, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with sort of between you guys, what you said between you guys. My personal opinion is of the same. I think we'll have a very busy summer, and that doesn't always mean incomings. I think this is a huge summer to have a clear out. It's possibly the worst summer for a clear out. In fact, it is the worst summer for a clear out. But when people are asking what's changed, it's the state of the squad and the imbalance of the squad and the need, as it seems we're going to be without Champions League football. Hopefully I'm proved wrong, but the fact that FSG will be stung by that and they will want to rectify it. We've discussed FSG's policies to death on various shows, and we all agreed on one point, that they always act when they have to, when they really, really have to. And this is a summer they're going to have to act, lads. And I truly believe they will. So, you know, that's my opinion. I think we're looking at 3 players minimum. But the difference in quality will be huge as compared to in previous seasons where we've bought potential world stars. I think we're going for very good players that are already playing at a very high level. Sorry, Avi, you can carry on while I have a drink of water.
I just want to ask. I just want to
Grizz is
to
dying.
ask Gaz. I wanted to ask Gav the question. Gav, if you had a choice of selling Phillips for 8 million and getting Kabak in, say, for the proposed 8 million, would you do a deal?
I still think it comes back to Matip, Avi. I'm being honest with you. I think Van Dijk and Gomez would be 2 centre backs, right? If you make a decision on Matip that you're keeping him, I don't think you keep Phillips or Kabak. I still think a big name centre half has to come in. Somebody that's going to actually probably push Gomez out of the side. You know, and I'm not saying we should get Gomez out of the side. What I'm saying is you should someone with the absolute potential to just go, listen, I'm here, I'm available all fucking season. You know, all things being equal, I'm available all season, and I'm better than you, Joe Gomez. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Van Dijk, Gomez. You make a decision to keep Matip, and then you bring somebody in as a fourth choice. I'm kind of going, that's pointless. You have Kabak and Phillips there if you want to make a fourth choice decision. You know, you should be looking at Van Dijk as one. Another centre half to come in who's number 2 or 3, and the same be said for Gomez, and a fourth choice. That's why I think if they make a big signing at centre back, I think Matip will go. I don't think he'll settle for fourth choice, even though, you know, his injury record isn't great. So, Avi, I'm being honest with you. If he brought in a Shores or a Botman, right, to go with Van Dijk and Gomez, and he kept Phillips or Kabak and Matip went, I'm absolutely fine with that. The reliability thing has just gone through the roof for me over the last 8 months. And look, people will say, when Matip plays, he's brilliant. He absolutely is, but he doesn't play enough. And this is going through our squad now with Inox and Keita and stuff like that. And you just see how it affects the rest of the squad now, have you? Like, players are being ran into the ground and they're being asked to just churn it out every 3 days for 6-7 months. It just doesn't work, have you know what I mean? I'd rather have a slight step down in quality, but reliability. And that's maybe just me reacting a little bit to the season too much. But I think the centre half situation will more or less depend on what they decide to do with Matip.
I think the 2 positions that we're nailed on to spend big is centre back and centre forward stroke attacker. And I think that's a dead cert. I know people are very wary of past summers and us not spending money and sort of relying on sales. And, you know, us guys have been chatting privately about what we're likely to see. As I said, it's going to be a very active summer. I can see Deadwood being sold for the total amount of, let's say for argument's sake, the top of my head, 60, 70 million, right? And I included Ox in that, Gav. I totally agree with you. So, you know, the usual suspects. We don't need to go through the lads that we know are on the way out or we'd like to sell. And then it all depends on how much FSG dip into their own pockets. And this is where I think they will, because 70 million will get you your 2 sort of 70 million will get you a very good midfielder and a very good centre back. And that gives you, and the rest of the money they put in will depend on what kind of attacker we get. Because I personally think we're guaranteed to get 3 signings. 4 will be amazing and perfect, but 3 is very, very much the bare minimum. And I think we all agree that a centre back, a centre mid, if Gini goes, and an attacker is the bare minimum. But we'll see.
Well,
you know,
just to finish off this little bit, I just want a one-word answer from you, okay?
Okay.
And it came from Red S on Discord, and he just said, Matip, keep or sell? Avi?
Sell. Get rid.
Grizz?
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
The same.
yeah, I mean, look, we all know, we all value his talent when he's on the pitch. He's just not on the fucking pitch enough, lads. Fuck that. We've had the season, as Gav says, fed up of the unreliability of some players, and I truly believe that Klopp is now as well. You know, he can't. There's only so much loyalty he can show to these people. Anything else from the Discord before we go into something else?
I'll throw this one out here. Cyber Sims asked earlier as well about Duncan Castle's going on about Kylian and Mbappe. This isn't happening, boys. Come on.
Avi, you want to touch upon it? Avi?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know how to answer this. If we get Champions
open your
League,
mouth and words come
okay,
out.
look,
Yeah, that would help.
All right, Gav, be nice to me once in a while. brought
No,
up.
no.
Look, if we
Grizz
get
told me
Champions
not to
League
be.
football, there's a reason I've put this PSG shirt up there, right?
Oh,
And the questions are coming in, okay? And I'm not saying
Oh.
I'm in the know and I know Liverpool inside out. Look, I don't, but I do know if we get Champions League football, Kylian Mbappe is 100%. We will definitely be in the reckoning for Kylian
Don't
Mbappe.
say in the
100%.
conversation.
Um,
I think
And look, his last year of the contract. When Klopp wants a player, guys, and I've said this before, when he wants a player, look, he's going back when he wanted Matip at Schalke, he wanted Ox at Arsenal, he wanted Naby Keita a season early. We got him. He wanted Van Dijk. Shunned every defender that was named to him in the summer of 2017 because we made a balls of a job getting him in that summer. So he said, no, I'd rather wait for Van Dijk. We got him in January. When Klopp wants a player, he will get his player, and FSG will pump up. They will pay the money. His deal with Nike this summer is coming to a renewal. There's the LeBron, Kylian Mbappe stuff going on. We know LeBron's just had he's got another sort of major stake in FSG, and they've given him more of a share. It all bodes. I think it just all adds up to something huge in the summer. I think if we get Champions League football,
are you saying that because I don't know what Kylian Mbappe cost you he's out of contract in 2022, am I right?
yeah.
But I don't know what he cost you. But are you going at this from the angle of they'll renew with Nike and Nike will say to him, listen, we'll throw X amount in the pot extra for you, and you go to Liverpool for this amount of money.
Gav, Nike will not want their huge prized asset to go to a team like Real Madrid, who are majorly an Adidas sort of company, Adidas endorsed company. They won't. They want to keep him.
That's the angle you're going.
That's the line I'm going to. Yeah, Barcelona won't get him because Barcelona is sponsored by Nike. They won't go for him. Spurs are nowhere near him. It leaves us, and we are Nike's biggest pull in North America. We are the biggest pull for Nike. Hence, I do believe if an overall package can be done where Nike intervene as well, a deal is possible. A deal is possible. That doesn't mean it's happening, guys. It's possible.
I'll just quickly throw my threepence in there before we move on, because Mbappe, everyone calls it a pipe dream, and who wouldn't want him? Just my very quick opinion on it, and some of it is from sort of hearing a few things here and there, and knowing someone who's actually one of the intermediaries in this possible trying to do a deal. And I can safely say, Liverpool fans, Liverpool will do all they can to try to get Kylian Mbappe this summer. Whether they get him in the end, come on, we know only Liverpool know that, and if Mbappe knows that, if it was going to happen. But he's a number.
It's a more in Mbappe's interest than to just say, listen, I'll stick at PSG for another year, I'll run down the contract, and I'll walk away. That's
if PSG let him do that, and that is a possibility as well. Oh, they can force him out. They can sell him. Of course they can.
Not at all.
If PSG decide that they not having that, and they will take 100 million for him, because he's going to go for about 120 million when his final year of his contract. It's not the fee. Mbappe's situation is not a no-go because of the fee. I can guarantee you that. It's of course based around his wages and his huge, crazy wage demands.
Yeah.
But as I said, FSG are working overtime, Gav, to try to make this deal happen. Whether that's a way of doing it, if that's a way of doing it, like you've suggested, I've heard that as well, that he sits out another year and then becomes a free agent. Very much, that's very much possible. But that gets complicated because of his club maybe not wanting to let that happen. Yeah. Look, we're not in the driving seat, of course we're not, but we're in the back seat just waiting.
Okay.
So that's what you keep on. Yeah. I couldn't think of a better analogy.
Gav, you're definitely writing it off, aren't you?
You are?
You're definitely writing it off, aren't you?
I would write nothing off, but I know that's why I was asking you about the angle that you come at with regards to Nike and stuff like that. And people would laugh at that and say, nah, sure. But listen, we know the way endorsements work. You see it like all across sports, American football, NBA, whatever it might be. You see players being traded, all right, and they get traded and they're like, oh, they're going for this, and they're going, but it's the endorsements. It's where the people want to put them. And listen, at the end of the day, you can talk about at times like, trophies and stuff like that. But and that's very important to people. But money drives this fucking game, Avi, and that's the truth. You know, in 10 years' time, Kylian Mbappe won't have the pace he has now, and people will say he's washed up, or he could have a serious injury. Like my concern over Kylian Mbappe in a footballing sense is his pace is so much part of his game that he Michael owns himself, and you know he's just never the same.
Don't say that.
No, I'm
But
just
anyway,
saying because that's what you look at a player.
listen,
But
we've got
the money is huge. The money is astronomical, but I wouldn't write anything off, especially with Nike being involved. But I think I look at it, and when you look at like Klopp loves a good player, but he also loves a harmony in a squad. Does that affect your harmony when a fella comes in and he's on 400 grand a week, and the rest are on, and your next top earner is on 50% of that? It's look, there's loads around it. You just have to wait and see. It's an interesting one, but there's a couple of super chats. Can I just read them out? Thoughts on
Of course you
FFP
can.
being?
You can take over if you want.
No, I'm not. I'm just doing it so you don't have to. Thoughts on FFP being scrapped? I think that it was never there for me
In the first place. Yeah.
Never. I love this.
Our friend from Norway, I believe.
Yeah.
Resident Norway fan. How you doing, pal? Does Grizz enjoy Pakistani ice cream kulfi?
Is that real?
Yeah,
that's
it's
real.
called
That's real.
kulfi.
It's actually
called
nice.
kulfi. It's actually not.
Pistachio? No, come on, Grizz. It's lovely, mate. What are you talking about? Kulfi is lovely, yeah.
So look, the question says, does Grizz enjoy it? It doesn't say does Avi enjoy it. So I don't enjoy it. But I can imagine it's very popular.
Is it like double decker ice cream? Because you love that.
No, it's
No, it's
nothing like
totally
that.
separate. Yeah.
All right.
Have you described to
Vanilla?
him what kulfi is like? Describe to Gav what kulfi is. Go on.
Gav, you never had like Indian ice cream?
No.
Oh, please don't ask
Come
Gav
on,
what he's
mate.
had.
Come
You know,
on.
potatoes. That's
I
it.
don't know Indians that
Maximum. If he's lucky,
Kulfi's like
mashed potato.
Kulfi's like pistachio sort of ice cream, but just like pistachio and like sort of.
That's it.
Soft,
Pistachio,
like,
mate.
I don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
No, look, listen.
I can't describe it, but it's nice. But I don't know
If there's any-
I just
there's
have
any-
standard ice cream. Like, there's no way I'm wandering off.
Gotta get you a gulab
Pakistani
jamun
stuff.
then, Gav. Gotta get Gav a gulab jamun.
Look, you'll be lucky to, fry an egg for Gav. Even he likes, even he likes eggs boiled. Fuck's sake.
I don't
He
like
hates
eggs. I
things.
don't eat eggs. Only an
Oh,
omelette.
potatoes. Then you'll be lucky to mash his potatoes up.
I don't
Bloody
eat
hell.
them at the moment. Wake up.
But yeah, we've got another guest ready to step in. Let's get him in on here.
There you
We have welcome to the show, Jack. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Great to have
Good,
you on,
good.
pal. Great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
I know you was patiently waiting in the background while we were talking about random Pakistani ice creams, but listen, this is what Khanage does. Go for it, man. Gav, Avi, I think Jack's got some questions for us. Fire away, Jack. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, you've covered most of my questions anyway, but I've got one more for you. So obviously the Africa Cup of Nations is on next season now, and Salah, Keita, Mane, they've all gone through. So they're going to be missing for part of the season, and Salah potentially also for the Olympics at the start of next season. What do you think Klopp's going to be thinking about? Do you think he'll be thinking about that and getting another striker in to contemplate for that?
Great question. Who wants to take that first?
I'll go. The African nation stuff. I genuinely, Jack, I check this every month or two because I completely forget when it's on. I thought they'd moved it to a summer, and then they tell me no, it's too hot in the summer, so they've moved it to January. I think that's the last thing I read on it. It's an interesting one because, as you said, Keita, Mane, Salah, and if they're all in it, you're missing them for a period around January and possibly into February, isn't it? So, and then they come back, and you don't know if they come back with an injury and stuff like that. So I think it will affect us this summer. The Olympics, of course, is coming up. There is talk that Salah will bypass the Olympics, and it won't happen. But then again, he's the biggest fella in Egyptian sport, so they're going to want him there, aren't they? But I think it will affect our transfer policy. I'm sure there's players out there that Liverpool will be heavily linked with that are, from Africa and will have a chance to play in this African nations. And I think at some stage it has to come into the reckoning, because if you sign another 2 and then you're down 5 squad members come that January, you're kind of looking going, we might be able to look after 3, but if it gets to 4 or 5. So it'll be interesting to see who's linked with us in the summer, if they are of African origin, and if they can play in the African Nations Cup. But it's a worry. It definitely is, because I remember the last time Mane went off to in African nations, and we felt the bits.
Yeah,
So
we did.
it is a worry for me.
Avi?
Yeah, I think Salah will go to the Olympics. I think the 2018 World Cup, when he had all the sponsorship deals with the Egyptian Airlines and whatnot, Vodafone, there was some hoo-ha, wasn't it? And he wasn't fit because of obviously the shoulder injury that he occurred at the Champions League final. I think he will go to the Olympics. I think the African nations, I know they have confirmed it for mid-January next season, but I think they're waiting for confirmation. So it could well be still in that sort of early summer in Africa next year. But I think Mane, Salah, Naby, I'm sitting on one of those. I'll be surprised if one of them isn't gone out of the club by the summer. I think Salah stays, but I think there's question marks 100% on Mane and Naby. So
This
hopefully, this summer, yeah. I think there's question marks over Naby and Mane. I think there are. But yeah, it is a problem. But I think most clubs have them as well. I remember Chelsea once with Drogba, Kalou, all of them. Sen, they went and they had it. Well, they obviously had a strong enough squad because of the money they had. But it will be interesting to see which way we go in the summer if we do bring any players of sort of like the African descent, and if they go away in the January. But yeah, like Jonathan just said, players that we've been linked with, Daka and Basuma, you do wonder if we do go through, if we do keep the three that we've got at the club at the moment.
Yeah, my thoughts finally, Jack, probably the least relevant, but of importance, but I'll give you them anyway. This is why I'm 100% certain that we will reinforce the attack. We all know that we will be in for at least one. And I think depending on sales, that is where we're going to sort of look to get one more in, because of the fact that the African nations takes place in what's usually the busiest or the most
just beyond the busiest part of the season.
Yeah.
I was going to say just beyond the busiest, where players are fatigued the most, and so therefore the strength of the squad absolutely has to kick in, and so therefore it's definitely on our minds. It will be on the recruitment team's minds. They will have to have something in place. Jota's an absolute certain nailed on for that. Bobby, if he's staying, again, if he's not sold, whatever, and then we'll need one more of world-class levels, and that's where I think we're going to target this summer, to try to bring in someone who's going to be very, very useful, of course, throughout the season, but especially in that part of the season going forward as well. Was there anything else, Jack, that you wanted to ask?
No, like I said, you've covered most of it anyway.
Can I ask you something, Jack?
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you've asked that question to us about, them three possibly going away. So
yeah,
taking all our thoughts into consideration, and I agree with Grizz. I think it may be a factor in what we do in the forward line, and absolutely going to, instead of a level 2 player, going to an absolute level 1 player to make sure we're covered in that area. What player would you like to see come in?
Personally, I'd love to see Haaland come in.
Yeah,
I think the way we play at the moment, especially with a lot of teams playing the low block against us, I think he's perfect to counter that. Like you said before, Mbappe uses his pace a lot. There's not going to be much space in behind to use his pace. So I think Haaland's probably the better option there.
I fully agree with you. Fully agree.
There's a shout in here that we've managed to get Harry Wilson on the show. I can't find it now. But have you had that thrown at you before, Jack? Because
no.
Because looking at it, he does look a bit like Harry Wilson, doesn't he, lads?
Yeah,
that one before.
But I was going to say Harry. Jack, thank you so much for coming on, pal. It's been an absolute
pleasure. Thanks for having me as well.
No problem, pal. Take care of yourself.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, that's we have to think about these things.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I know we've discussed this season and we've talked about the disastrous situation that the injuries have left us. Can you imagine, hey lads? Can you imagine if this season was African nations as well on top of the injuries? Can you imagine what would have happened?
But that's the thing. Like, and I'm even like, I'm not going to pretend I follow African nation stuff. But have the qualifiers even been completed?
Yeah.
Well, today I think Guinea just qualified today, didn't they?
All right. Yeah. Okay. So this isn't a tournament that's being moved. This is a tournament that they just couldn't decide if it was going to be January or June. Am I right?
That's
Yeah.
right. This is the main one. This is
Okay.
the main.
No, I know
African
it's the
nation.
main. I know it's the main one. What I'm saying is, you know the way
Just
the
letting you know,
Euros is
innit?
being moved. The
Yeah.
Euro 2020 is being moved to 2021. Was this
Yeah.
African nations due to be played before, and they've moved?
That's
to
right.
This? Is
Yeah.
that the case? So,
Yeah.
but where's it being held? Because I heard that they've decided no, they can't play in the summer
My-
because it's really hot.
My
I thought it
money's
was
on
Congo.
Africa.
Congo.
Yeah, I know it's in Africa. It's Congo was being played in.
Dominican Republic of Congo. I think it's.
I mean,
Okay.
have you? It's not a quiz, Avi. Have you just guessed that? Whatever. How do you know? This is not. We're not in a
Well,
quiz.
it's a better
right?
guess than what you said. You just said Africa for no.
And I was
reason.
right.
Yeah, name. Yeah, but you got to name something in Africa. You can't just say
But that's-
Africa. Africa.
but if I don't- if I don't-
Africa's a continent.
Yeah, but if I don't know it, I won't say it. You just guessed and throw out. It's actually Cameroon.
It's
according
Cameroon.
to-
Sorry. It's
according to
Rwanda.
Sulap. This is my point, and this is why you always lose when we have quizzes.
But do you see this Cameroon, right? So, was it due to be played the summer just gone?
Yes.
Gav, it's all muddled up. That's what it is.
Okay, so why did you just move it 1 year to the next summer? Because
You've got Qatar as well, the Qatar World Cup as well next summer.
okay, so
whenever they're
that's
playing it.
going to be an issue as well. All right, so
That's
there's
in December,
loads
isn't
going
it?
on there. There's loads going
Yeah.
on there. Okay.
Yeah, Dinesh just confirms that. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. It confirms that it's 2022. We do know that, Dinesh. We were just sort of trying to work out how it was moved.
No. What his original question was, how will they fit a Winter World Cup in 2022? He said 2020, and he changed it to 2022.
The World Cup's that's in Christmas time, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
December time.
yeah. I think
That's
the
right.
World Cup final is on Christmas Eve or something. But no, it is, and it is something we have to consider, boys, because like,
I think Copa America's next summer as well.
yeah, it's for me, it's just something that you have to look at, and you have to say to yourself, we're going to be missing 3. If we sign any more, we're going to be missing 4 or 5. So it definitely comes into the reckoning when you look at this summer and next January with regards to signings.
Lads, something. It's a good segue into what I wanted to talk about. Someone asked about sort of in my DMs. I asked for questions and for today, and someone asked about. Let's not even look that further forward. Let's look at this summer and the Euros. Is there any concerns for you guys with the Virgil van Dijk situation? So basically, Virgil van Dijk is, from what I understand and from what the national manager revealed in a press conference that he's been told, is that Virgil van Dijk is around 8 weeks away from first team full training. That kind of ties in with most of the sports scientists' estimations in terms of when he would likely to be training.
When does the Euros kick off?
June.
Middle of June.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually around the 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around that in June. So we looking at Grizz 8 weeks from now is the end of May.
End of May.
Ah.
So
Kevin
listen,
Sullivan,
the
Kevin
story.
Kevin Sullivan says there Holland will pick him, and there's all we can do to stop it.
Well, no, I don't think it's
Can't
simple as
blame-
that.
Can I
Let
say
me
a little
finish.
piece?
Let me finish the question, and then you lot. Let me say it to you guys, and then you lot take the floor. So look, we got to take it from both angles. We got to look at it from both sides, right? Virgil van Dijk, it will be his first major tournament, and he's captain. Am I right, lads?
Yep.
He's captain.
Well, he played in
of
the
first
Nations League. He played in the Nations League tournament.
major tournament, guys. Come on, Avi. Nation League, that's like the Littlewood's Cup, innit? Or League
Well, they
Cup.
can't-
No one cares about that. Well, you might count it, but you're 19. We're talking about, adults. Adults don't count the Nations League, right? So we're looking
People
at.
that can grow beards don't count the Nations League.
Do you know what I mean? So look, you're gonna not let me finish. I'm gonna give you, like some people are saying, bullying you. I'm gonna bully you, all right? If you keep batting in.
I
So
love yous too.
the situation is, right, lads, it's his first major tournament. He's what, 29, 28,
30 in
something
July.
like that.
30 in June.
30 in June. He's desperate to play in this World Cup.
Has to be.
He thinks, according to his people around him and his fitness people around him, he will be ready to play. Liverpool naturally are fucking shit scared of letting him go and letting him play. Avi, give me your thinking personally, and then give me what you think will happen, what you would do, and what Jurgen Klopp will do.
Well, Van Dijk and his, I know he worked with Dr. Stedman's protege. So Dr. Stedman's a well-renowned doctor out here in Colorado who's done everyone's ACL and whatnot. You guys know.
Mhm.
So his protege, his young and a bit like me and you, Grizz, he oversaw Van Dijk's stuff in Dubai. So he was out in Dubai, wasn't he?
Mhm.
And Van Dijk, he's confident that he's a lot closer than what the club medics thinks and the physios and whatnot. So it's not Chris. Before everyone starts shouting down on Chris Morgan, it's not him. It's like all the physiotherapists and whatnot that do his recovery, cooling and whatnot. So he thinks he's a lot closer than what we've been told by the media, by what Klopp said. If I was Van Dijk, 29, one of the best defenders in the world, coming up to 30 in June, it's my first international tournament with Holland, leading that team. I go. If it means I've not played any games after October for Liverpool because of my ACL, I would. If I'm fit, I go. Right.
That's if you're in Van Dijk's.
I was Virgil.
Mine.
Yeah, I go. If obviously he's from Holland, he's got the love for his country. He wants to represent Holland. When was the last time they competed in a tournament? Have they even qualified in the last eight years? I don't think they have they? So
yeah, they've been on a downward.
He's got another Euros potentially. So this Euros, and he's got a World Cup in him.
Mhm.
If he looks after himself, yeah, he's probably got another Euros in him. But this is their probably best chance. They've got a good team as well. Forget about yesterday's result. Holland have got a good team as well. They've got a good nucleus of players. And with him, he improves them. We all know the impact that he has on any team. But if I was him, I would go. But it's all about what Klopp thinks. Can he play every 3 days? If they get beyond the knockout stages, can his knee, take it? And then he's got to come back pre-season, which is, we know, is strenuous under Klopp and Kornmeier and Kravitz and Linders, then go into the season. That's just my only big worry. It depends. I mean, they've got a great relationship. We know what Klopp has said about Van Dijk. We know he's waited for him when he was at Southampton and whatnot. So it's I do think there's gonna be some kind of, I think it could come into a collision, not in a bad way, but it's gonna be a bit of, wait a minute, is your body ready to play 3 games in the space of 9 days?
So what happens?
What happens is you touch wood that he comes back for us first and foremost, that he gets a chance.
So you think he goes?
I think we see him this. But I've been saying that we see him for Liverpool this season. Then he goes off to Holland. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. We didn't.
But it's a difficult one. It's difficult. What do we do with the player that wants to go? You can't stop him. You can't physically say, Virgil, you cannot go to the Euros. He will go. He will probably defy Klopp. Let's not beat around the bush. He will. But yeah, go on, Gav. I'll let Gav chime in.
I think it's important what Avi just said there. If he sees a game for Liverpool before the end of the season, if he plays for Liverpool before the end of the season, he 100% goes to the Euros. You can't bring him in and put him into the Liverpool side at the back end of a season, but potentially if we're around Champions League semi-finals and stuff like that, and then tell him he can't go and play for important games for Holland. It's worrying though what Avi says there. He believes he's ahead of schedule despite what Liverpool's medics say. That's worrying. For me, that straight away tells me that there's some sort of pushback going on there. Now, I could be completely wrong, but if the word coming out from one camp is, oh no, he's ahead of it, and the other camp, i.e. Liverpool, are saying no, he's 8 weeks off. If he's 8 weeks off, starting full training, he doesn't go to the Euros. I'm sorry, he just doesn't. 8 weeks from now is the fucking end of May. It's 2 weeks before the Euros start. He doesn't go to the Euros on 2 weeks full training after the injuries had been out 7 months. I don't think he does. I understand he's 29 and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, the club pay his wages, and it's harsh on him. Someone says there the World Cup's next season. You know what I mean? It's all good. I think it's unfortunate for us that the Euros are there, because in a perfect world, Van Dijk comes back into full training middle of May. All right, might get a game here or there, and then he's put on a proper program to get him through into pre-season and ready and absolutely foreign. I think it is a risk in the summer, but I think it'll all depend if he plays for Liverpool. If he plays for Liverpool, he goes. It's as simple as that. But if he doesn't, if it's the end of May, he starts full training, I think it's absolutely ludicrous that he goes to the Euros.
I think there's a lot of power games behind the scenes being played. I think when Klopp recently came out and said, "Oh," basically he said in a nutshell, "Oh, there's no chance Virgil going to the Euros." I think he said that knowing that he's not going to risk him in a Liverpool game before the end of the season, because I think you're spot on, Gav. I think if he's seen to be playing him in a Liverpool game, even if someone asked earlier in the chat, if it's a European Cup final, do you risk Virgil van Dijk? You know, that's a fucking tricky one, because then he has to release him for Holland, you see, if he comes through that game.
Yeah, but
So
I
I
don't
think
think you should think like that, Chris. This should be about Virgil van Dijk, and not only the immediate short-term future, but the medium and long-term for him as well, because he's a massive asset for you.
Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool will absolutely be thinking like that, Gav. They absolutely, and that's why they're adamant internally that he's not going. But this is where the clash is a bit controversial or sort of, edgy maybe, but this is where a slight agreement will have to be, taken place. A few talks will have to take place, a bit of cajoling from Klopp and the people at Liverpool, because Virgil, it's been said Virgil 100% has in his mind to go to the Euros with Holland and captain them. And this is where I think there's a slight issue possible. Yeah, go on, Abs.
Do you guys remember Zidane at 2002 World Cup when he went with France and they lost to Senegal the first game? He was never fit. He shouldn't have even gone. But, reluctantly, he went with the France squad. They lost to Senegal the first game. I don't think he started the second game either. I think that was against Uruguay. And then they lost to Denmark, I think. And it was just a waste of space of having him there for the France squad. I know he was the best player in the world at that time, but he shouldn't have gone to that 2002 World Cup. You just fear with Van Dijk, if he does go, so say Holland win their first two sort of games, then they've got a third game, haven't they? And he could be rested for that. And then they go again. Good thing, if the tournament is in England as well, bear in mind, guys, if the tournament is in England, that probably helps our cause, because then we could probably send our physiotherapist and just oversee his sort of recovery. I know the Dutch will have top class sort of physicians and whatnot, but if you've got like our boys there too, like our physios and our therapists, they will probably oversee it. It's just a tough one to call, because if he genuinely thinks he's fit, I don't blame him for going. He will want to go. And there's nothing that we can stop, and there's nothing that Klopp can do to stop him too.
But the thing is, like, and people have mentioned 8 weeks is actually the date for announcing your squad and stuff like that. So that's another kind of facet to it. But forget the Euros for a minute. Forget it for a minute. If Virgil van Dijk is 8 weeks away from full training, how many weeks do you think he's away from playing for Liverpool? Because it's not 9. It's not 9.
Yeah.
It's not 10. You know what I mean? Like, we see players now at Liverpool and they go, he's back in full training. You don't see him for 3 weeks. You don't see him. Do you have to go up? You see in Thiago. Thiago had an injury and people going, why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing? And everyone knew he's not going to fucking play. He's back in training and he'll be back when he's back. It's not a case of, I'm back in full training on Monday, lads, and I'm playing on Saturday, unless you're really desperate, i.e., Rooney. Remember, Rooney does his metatarsal at Chelsea, and it's an absolute rush to get him to a tournament. And I don't think am I right in saying he doesn't?
2006 World Cup, I think.
I think it was 2010, but I could be wrong. 2006, maybe. No, I think
it was a Portugal game, and it's the one that you got sent off in, isn't it? It was that tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it might be in South Africa, but anyway, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Rushing a player back and pinning everything on him. It's going to be an interesting one, but I think that the one thing to watch is when he shows up for full training at Liverpool, and if he plays a game, then I think all bets are off. Then really are. I have 2 questions left before we go. By the way,
go on, son.
Are we finished on Van Dijk?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to have another viewer, but
just a quick.
Let me just finish what I'm going to say, Avi. I was supposed to have.
I love you still.
I was supposed to have another viewer from Denmark. Actually, I've tried to make it an international show. We've had one from Zimbabwe. We've had someone from Somerset.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah. The first caller was from Zimbabwe.
Johannesburg, Grizz. There's a big difference between South Africa and Zimbabwe. What are you talking about?
Okay, I've had a howler. Everyone's allowed a howler. You've had a few in the show. That's my first one. Okay, I've had a howler there.
Zimbabwe, where did that come from, though?
Well, your first howler was the yes or no answer, and you went out before.
No, that doesn't count as a howler. But this is a howler. I'm sorry to South Africans all over the world. I meant South Africa. I had one scheduled from Denmark, but he's just messaged me and saying that there's an absolute a power cut in Denmark for some reason, and he just can't connect. So
that's fair. We'll get him on next time.
Yeah, we'll get him for next time. Appreciate the effort he's made. So we haven't got any callers left, but we've got Avi to butt in for something. Go on, Avi.
I was just going to say, do a yes or no to Gavin Grizz. Does Van Dijk go to the Euros? Yes or no? Don't need context, Grizz.
No.
Gav said no.
Yep. Yes, I said no.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go with yes.
We didn't ask you, but thanks for your input. Listen, Gav.
I love this.
Gav,
what's
the situation with any more questions then?
Oh yeah, so I have two more questions. So Dynamo Kev on Discord asked about the Champions League. I think he just wants to see how you feel it will go from a Liverpool point of view and eventual winners and stuff like that. Go on. Who wants to go first?
I'm excited, Gav. I'm not going to lie. But it doesn't take much for Liverpool fans to get excited this season. The dismal season that we've had. Go on, rub it in, Danny.
Danny from Alaska in China.
Go on, Danny, rub it in. Why don't you? Right, let me block him for 5 minutes. No,
why don't you just call him a prick and move on?
No, Danny's a lovely man.
Danny's
sound. But look, Champions League's got me excited. Whenever you're in for a draw for the quarterfinals of the greatest club tournament in the world, how can you not be excited? If someone's asking me outright, do I think we'll win it? No. Have we got a chance of winning it? Yes. Can we win it? Yes. We've had worse squad than this, I believe, in 2005 that actually won the tournament. Let's not forget, we've won this tournament with the likes of Biscan and Traore and Barosh. Do you know what I mean? So, there's nothing to say that we can't. Well, there is.
The 2007 team wasn't great either. Well, we got to the final. We didn't win.
It was stronger. It was stronger than the 2005 team.
Grizz, we had Zenden starting in 2007. How was it? Great?
It was better than the 2005 team, and also the Milan team wasn't as good as the 2005 team. They were 2 years older. And I believe we were the far better team in 2007, but we were unfortunate. So yeah, I'm excited about it. It's something to look forward to. Gav, to who asked that question?
Dynamo Kev asked that. Avi, what do you think?
What a name, Dynamo Kev.
Yeah, if you've been watching, Gav, you know my thoughts on this year's Champions League. I'm very confident of beating Madrid. There's some open wounds from 2018 final, and I think we'll take them to the cleaners in the home leg on the 14th of April. No, I do. No, Grizz, I don't know why you get all negative when I say we'll take them to the cleaners. You think
no, I don't get negative.
We have a bit of confidence on this show.
I absolutely don't get negative. Please don't take this the wrong way. I don't get negative. I just from experience, from knowing you and your predictions for the last 3 months that have been 4-0 to Liverpool every game. Do you blame me for sort of slightly doubting you or having a sarcastic expression when you say we're going to take him to the cleaners when we've had the season we've had? That's all it is.
Well, Jota's back. Our team's it's coming together slowly. I think we'll beat them.
Brilliant. Tubbs MD 2BO, greetings from the Philippines. Amazing. Listen, this is what we love about this show. People from all around the world tuning in. Tell us where you're from. Drop it in the comments. Tell us where you're from. I'll probably get it wrong, but I'll try my best to read it out properly. But amazing. Gav, before I wrap it up, anything else, pal? I know your Discord's on fire and you've got
Discord is
over 20, 30 questions.
Yeah, no, there was just questions. So what we're trying to do on the Discord is involve people with regard the stuff on there that's just random stuff, like your favorite old school dance tunes of the 90s and stuff like that. But we try throw up on the day before every show. We try throw up a thing about the show and get people to do comments and stuff like that. But the last one from Dan Bailey is, and I just want the name on this, lads. I don't want any context, right? Let's see how good we are. He asks, if Klopp leaves in 2024, who replaces him? Just want the name.
Go on, Avi, you go first.
No, you go first, Chris. You're listening to me.
Klopp leaves in 2024. I'm going to say Steven Gerrard. I'm actually going to say it. I'm going to say Steven Gerrard and Pep Linders stays there.
Okay, Avi.
Javi Alonso.
Two big shouts.
But I think it's. I think
But it won't be Poch. It won't be Pochettino.
Oh, don't start him on that. Oh, don't start him on that. Oh, for fuck's sake, don't start him on that.
Pochettino's the name. I have him
No,
here, yeah.
shit.
I'm
Go on.
telling you.
If people don't know the context behind this, I think was it last night or the night before?
It was
Right
last
before,
night.
I
It was
think.
last night.
It was
Oh,
last
that's
night,
maybe.
and something came up, and we were talking about sort of the new Liverpool manager. Oh, sorry, what's going to be after? Who's going to be the target for coach after Klopp retires or goes away? And the great man Gav Doyle himself said it's Pochettino who's waiting in the wings.
I didn't say he's waiting in the wings. I said I believe that Pochettino is positioning himself to try and have a go with the Liverpool job. Because
I think it's the Madrid job.
Let him finish.
I believe, right, that if he actually wanted that Manchester United job, he would have got it. If he actually, I think if United got enough encouragement off Pochettino to go and say, we want you as our manager, he would have got that job, right? And he's gone to Paris Saint-Germain. I think it's a very clever move to go there. He'll win a lot of games. He'll win tournament. He'll win leagues and stuff like that. But I think he's looking at it going 2 years at PSG, all right? And then I'm in line for Liverpool. I'm not saying he will be the next Liverpool manager, but I genuinely believe that Mauricio Pochettino is absolutely positioning himself for the Liverpool job. I think he's the sort of person that FSG, if they're still owners, would be interested in. I think the way he carries himself, I think is huge for Liverpool Football Club as a manager. We know this. We've seen it through the years. If you carry Jose Mourinho was toned down by Liverpool because of the way he carries himself. I think Pochettino genuinely is positioning himself for that. But the Gerrard one is interesting. His next move is absolutely key for Steven Gerrard. Absolutely key.
Okay. Who did you say, Avi?
Xabi Alonso.
Javi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso. Yeah, that's not a bad shot. We were supposed to discuss sort of if we didn't have enough questions, which would never going to happen to our brilliant, because of our amazing viewers and listeners, we were always going to have enough questions. But just in case we didn't, we were going to discuss sort of where Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso are in their managerial careers. Maybe we'll touch upon that in another show. I think I'm going to wrap it up there, lads. I think it's been a very eventful show. The interaction has been sensational. I mean, the chat today has been absolutely flying, and some of the comments I couldn't put up because I would have lost concentration and started laughing because they were that funny. But thank you for the people that participated on Discord, on Twitter, on Insta. And thank you, special thanks for the guys that nominated to be coming on. And we'll probably try to do this in another international break. Is there another international break coming up, lads?
Listen,
The Euros.
Really? Is that it? The international breaks are over for the rest of the season. Surely they are, right?
Yeah.
But we may touch upon something like this concept. We thought we'd try this concept out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it worked out all right. Thank you to my coldies, my partners in crime. Gav, I love you, mate. I'll see you in a bit. Go and shoot some stars.
Shoot for the stars, yes. I'm off to add Courtney on Warzone, and the two of us are gonna go around like two idiots.
Poor Courtney. She doesn't know what she's.
I don't know who's getting awards here, me or Courtney. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's
and
we'd make a fortune on Twitch. I think people would watch that and enjoy it. I think the two of us aimlessly wandering around shooting at the sky.
Yeah, what a scene.
A reminder tomorrow, the Friday forecast tomorrow. I thought Gav would mention it.
Oh, I will. The Friday forecast, tomorrow. It's an interesting one, Avi. And I'll let you explain the whole inside of it, how it works. But it's yourself, it's Chris, is it Matt and Oscar? Yeah.
Oscar, yeah.
And you're going to be taking players out of teams and putting players in. But that'll be very, very interesting. The Fatback 4 is back on Sunday, and it is a little bit different than it usually is again this weekend. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Trippers always coming out with surprises, aren't we, Gav?
Yeah,
we love this variety. We're not boring. We don't say the same things. We don't talk about the same things. This is amazing. What a channel.
We're usually good. Well, I'm usually good at planning stuff in advance, but the way it is at the moment, we're literally sitting down on Sundays and trying to get through the week. But the football is back, so we're going to try to throw a few quizzes and stuff like that in there just to keep us going because people enjoy them. And of course,
Excellent.
the new website as well. So go and check out the new website, and not just to go and look at it. Go and tell us what you think, and get onto our Discord group. Of course, get in there. Tell us what you think of the site. Tell us what you'd like to see on the site. And of course, there's articles up there. And if anybody wants to write an article, don't be afraid to. All you have to do is go into the Discord, look up the articles. It gives you all the details, and you go from there.
Can I say the absolute levels of the articles so far have been
Right, I
stunning.
love them.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Keep them coming, people. You're allowed. This is what platforms are like us are for you to express your opinion. We're not gonna sort of edit them. We're not gonna sort of dress them down or dress them up. Or it's all about your opinion, and these platforms allow you to express them. You know, if I've let Avi on a platform like this to express his opinions, come on, guys, I'll let anyone. Avi, on that note, anything else you want to say before we go?
No, just on the article thing, Rajiv, come on, he created a great article on Brendan Rodgers. Great read. Great read. And you know I'm not a big fan of Brendan, so it's a great read though.
Oh, that's another. Let's don't mention that name because we need to go. Because otherwise, yeah, exactly. But Avi, you know how much I love you. Thank you for joining us from sunny California. I can actually see the sun from your blinds in the background. Is it nice and hot and sunny outside?
It's 22 today, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you've got a jacket on and zipped up to the top. But
Yeah.
listen, people, it's been another episode of Amazing Khanage. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week because we have a fantastic Arsenal preview lined up with some very, very good guests. So check that out next Thursday. I've told Gav already. Amazing. Am I getting better and better at this, Gav, or no? I've told you already for next Thursday, we're ready to go. Amazing.
Yes, you're getting better at it, but Thursday morning you'll change what's going on. That's what.
And listen, it's fluid. This has been Khanage. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for listening. Over and out.